Welcome everyone to Project WaSH-W Progress Sharing on Monday the 7th of September. We are as ever delighted to have you here with us and are really excited to see the progress that you've made in your design thinking projects around water, sanitation, hygiene and well-being. As is a really important and traditional part of our processes, and whenever we come together here in Australia, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands upon which we're meeting today. I'm on Wurundjeri land of the Eastern Kulin Nations, and I'd like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And I would invite you to do the same for those of you who are in different lands across Australia. And also, I would love to acknowledge everyone who's come here from PNG and Australia together in a very traditional way to share knowledge and to share with each other, even though we are being very high-tech in our use of technology to do that. Your hosts, we have the amazing team from PNG and here in Australia. Mehdi, Maristella, Kathy, and myself are delighted to spend some time with you this afternoon. We also would love you to nominate a keyboard captain to make sure that you add in lots of comments and thoughts and any questions you might have into the chat. And finally, I would like to introduce our special guests from today, Paul Reyes from WaterAid. Over to you, Paul.
So thanks, Chris. My name is Paul Reyes. I am program coordinator at WaterAid. Really excited to have gotten the invite to learn more from you today. So WaterAid is a WaSH-focused organization with a headquarter in London in the UK. We've been around for about 40 years and work in 34 countries across the world. 2 of those countries are Australia and PNG. We've been in both countries for about 60 years now, working primarily with WaSH in schools. For the people that are based in PNG, you may have heard about WaterAid as we had competitions in the post-courier and the national around constructing tippy taps, and the prize for those competitions was a tank being constructed in schools. But also both in Australia and in PNG, the people might know WaterAid from a project that we've had through netball, PNG, and the Vixens in Melbourne, and that was teaching netball and hygiene through a program called Hama Maslu Pilai. On a national level, WaterAid has been really involved in the design of the national WaSH in schools policy in PNG. At the moment, we work in NCD, ECIPIC, and Central Province. In WeWEC in ECIPIC Province, we've undergone a lot of data collection and visited all the schools in the district. I was really interested to see the WaSH issues in every single school in the district. So we find out that 80% of the schools have unimproved bush toilets that are really unhygienic. We also visited 91 schools that don't have access to hand washing facilities with water and soap. Yet we know that water and soap are a key in COVID-19 prevention. At the moment, we are completing construction in 7 schools around PNG. We're also planning to do an additional 5 more schools in the next year or so. So when we assist in the construction of toilets, hand washing facilities, or conduct any training in schools, we always ask students and teachers what will work for you, what can be improved. And visiting students is always a good learning experience for us. So I'm really interested to hear more of your ideas today.
Okay, I'm going to hand over to Kathy and Mehdi to continue and to get some of you to share with each other. So over to you, Mehdi.
Thank you, Chris, and once more welcome everyone. So as tradition up here, we always begin our activities with a word of prayer. So wherever you are, just bow your heads and we'll come to acknowledgement of our Creator. Gracious and loving Father, we come before you this afternoon. We want to thank you and acknowledge your grace and your goodness amongst us. I thank you, God, for the partnerships that we are building across the two nations. And thank you, God, for all the teams that have come across from Australia and PNG to be in this afternoon session. I thank you for the people in Australia and Papua New Guinea and the project that we are in to foster a relationship and partnership in whatever we are doing. Thank you, God, for the time that we can share this afternoon. We pray and commit this session into your hands and all the sharing that will happen. Father, we pray that the Holy Spirit will guide us through and lead us through and open up the conversations amongst the different partnerships that we have between schools. Once more, we commit this time and pray that your Lordship and guidance will lead us through this afternoon. We pray and ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Medi, for starting us off today with that reflection. So what we're going to do for around about 20 minutes is do some sharing and learning with each other. And we know that everyone embraced the idea of Project WaSH-W and agreed that they would be able to do something in their schools. But we also know that we live in an uncertain world, and various schools have had to close again and go remote again and do all the sorts of things that have disrupted our communities over this year. So we know that some people have said, we need more time, we want to do this better, we've got a great idea, but we just need a few more weeks to finalise it, and we completely understand that. But we wanted to see if we could share what everybody was doing, because we're really excited by some of the reports that are coming in telling us what you are doing in your schools. So Medi, and you and I are going to lead this next session, and I'm going to just pass over to you to get us started in a moment. Perhaps before I do, just to say that we've got 6 schools who are going to share with us what they've done. And to do that, each school's got about 2 to 3 minutes to do that sharing. And probably the best thing is that the person who's going to share on your behalf, if you just move up close to the microphone. And Emmeline, I know that people have been sending us some slides for their presentations. So I know that you'll be putting those on at the appropriate moment. And Paul, we're going to circle back to you at the end and say, make a few reflections on what you've seen about what these fantastic schools are doing in both PNG and Australia. So Medi, can I pass over to you to get the ball rolling with our sharing work?
Yes, Kathy, thank you for that. We will open up this session for the sharing between the partners. For PNG, I think we have a couple of schools that have I think first was Ayura that wanted to share some of the work in progress so far with their WaSH program, Ayura. So I'll invite the team from Ayura to share that the project there with us this afternoon. So I think Pauline and the team of teachers up there have identified someone who will present on their behalf. So I'll leave that to Team Ayura, presenter to provide to us what they have up there.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are from Ayura National High School. We are using, in our school, we are using our personal development class to learn about design thinking and Millennium Development Goals with Ms. Sui and other PAPSI teachers. We are applying design thinking into the WaSH project and the science fair. we decided to give the social science students the opportunity to work while the science student will focus on their science fair projects. The science fair theme is rural technology, so this also cover water and sanitation. So we will help the social science students where we can. We started by empathizing with our school situation, and that is mainly clean drinking water and awareness since we are in a rural setting. During our PD lesson, we went through design critiquing, and we went through the processes of design thinking to tackle that big question, how might we? We went through empathy, definition, ideation, prototyping. Through our critiquing, we came up with the idea of we are collaborating with St. Paul's, our partnership schools, and at the stage where we choose one where we both can work together. We are currently going to start building our prototype water purification system. We may need help from our partnership school if they could help us with some of the technical supplies to get our project started. That's all. Thank you.
Mehdi, just mute for a moment. Yeah.
Thank you, Team Ayura. That's fantastic work that you guys are doing up there. Work that you're doing up there. Wonder whether St. Paul's is here this afternoon.
I'm not sure, Mehdi, that we have St. Paul's online this afternoon.
All right.
Emily. Yeah.
There is that intention of collaborating with the WaSH program that Ayura has started. So forward to if St. Paul's and Ayura are going to join hands with the project that currently working on. So thank you, Ayura, for the sharing that you are doing up there. And so that's from Ayura National
And Mehdi, wasn't it fantastic to hear Ayura share the processes that they've gone through with their project? It was really wonderful to hear about the prototyping and empathizing, ideation and so on of the work that you've been doing. And we can see some of the images behind you there and in the slides that you provided. So fantastic work. Perhaps we go on to Bundaberg State High School in Queensland now, Mehdi. And I think that we have Dan Ainsley here from Bundaberg. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your project?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Dan. Unfortunately, our student representatives weren't available this afternoon to go through the project, but we've had a small group of students working for the last couple of weeks through the project WaSH-W. In the end, after sort of doing a bit of mind mapping, as you can see in that image on the left-hand side there, they tried to look at all of the effects of having no WaSH-W and you know, both not only for health, but also economic and those types of things. And then once we went through to the empathy interview stage, it became pretty apparent that we really realized that we're quite privileged to obviously be here in Australia with our infrastructure and so forth, but even so far as being up here in Queensland as compared to some of our colleagues and students in the southern states. So we really needed, for us, our students felt like we needed to create a bit of an awareness campaign of the challenges that are contributing, that COVID is contributing to sanitation, and that, but then also more so around a well-being factor. And so they came up with the concept of starting a pen pal idea where students could communicate with a number of schools that are participating in the project, not just with Gumini, who's our partner school over in PNG, but a number of PNG schools, but then also other Australian schools as well, so that we could try and develop a greater picture as to the challenges that are being presented. And then from there, they've already started to look at different ideas of, you know, how we might be able to potentially raise funds to contribute to some maybe water filtration systems or you know, building own filters and things like that. So that's where we're at the moment.
Thank you very much, Bundaberg, and it's great to see in the photo there. I can recognise a couple of your students. Others might recognise Braden there, who was with us last year. Terrific to see him. Mehdi, would you like to introduce Keravat?
Okay, so up next would be, I think so, Gary.
Okay.
One of our schools close to the city, and they also are working on some environmental program in line with the WaSH project. So I will leave that to Anna and Ethel, what their project is and who is being involved in the project and what how they're doing. Over to you, Sugary National High School, and you can share with us what you have.
Hello, good afternoon, the team. This is Sugary National High School. We are here to present our project this afternoon, and our project is designed by the biology students under the leadership of Ethel August, and we already appointed a student who will discuss our project this afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. This is Paxton Evanet, grade 12 here in Sugary National High School. For our attendance here, we have 6 students and 3 teachers. The water and sanitation hygiene, or the WaSH-W project. In our design thinking, the biggest challenges that we faced were the flooding of the river systems, where they also brought in this polluted stuff up to the area, such as other cups and other waste that are contaminating the area. And also the other challenges are the pollution of the water source, our drinking water, because at the moment, our drinking water, it is untreated, so it's like we're drinking untreated water. And environmental pollution due to the juice cups and the PET bottles, and safe, purified, treated water. So in our ideation, the number of ideas we came up with were the BioShade, which is our major project that we're working on right now, and the table of decorations, which are going to be the flowers. Also the bags, we're going to be doing crochets and using juice cups and wool, so they'll be sewing around the poro cups. This is an example of the poro cup, which is the main rubbish that is collected around this area, or it's polluting our water system and also the environment up here. So in our clean drinking water in the classrooms area, mainly the classroom areas, our waters are contaminated. So there's only a few students that bring their water bottles up to the classrooms. They have their chances to like drink water, and majority of the students, they actually go back to the dormitory and drink water, which is also the same untreated water that we'll always take in every day. And the taps for hand washing, the day toilets only. So in our prototyping, the prototype we came up with, the main project in the WaSH-W was the BioShade. So it's like we're gonna be getting the poro cups, these cups, and we're gonna be lining them up on an area. So we did some few prototypes that we could show you guys So these are just a few examples of what it's going to look like. We're going to collect the cups. So these are the PET bottles. We're going to collect also the PET bottles and line them up like this. Our project is it's cheaper because we're going to be using flowers, planting them inside the cups and these PET bottles, which are going to be hanging down from on our classrooms like this as displayed here. These are just a few prototypes that most of the students, the biology students, built. This is just some examples. So we're turning the rubbish into a good site for bioshade, so it like cools the area a bit. Mainly when the sun rises in the morning, it's hot, so it like covers the classroom areas and it keeps it a bit cool. So thank you for listening. That's all that we are doing here, and thank you.
Fantastic. Sagari National School. So that's turning trash from what they are doing up there in Sagari into usable, environmentally friendly things that they can recycle for to help and sustain the environment. So thank you, Sagari National High School, for your sharing.
Mm. And Mehdi, what I really loved about that project was that it's going to have a much bigger impact than, you know, just during this time where we've got COVID here. The whole idea of bioshade is a brilliant project for the future for Sagari. And so isn't it great that you've thought about it now? And I'm sure that other people will also think that's a great idea. I'm going to do that at my home or at my office or something like that. Hurlston Agricultural High School, great to have you here today. And I think that Maney is there perhaps. And
yes, hello.
Would you like to? And great. So introduce your team and tell us a little bit about what you've been doing for Project WaSH-W.
We've actually, we've got 3 teams here, and we've been focusing on developing our collaboration skills, but in particular looking at personal and social capabilities, but you know, our social awareness. And I've got some students here that are very eager to present. We've done the full design sprint in a day. And if you have a look at the slide, I also got the kids to, in every 20 minutes to do, or 15 minutes to think about what they were thinking at that point in time, so that they're aware if they're feeling frustration or they're really excited. So that's just a snapshot of what you can see on the slide there. So some of the students thinking. But I'll introduce you. We've got Hia, we've got Candace, we've got Akila, and we've got Manya, who are here to present their idea.
So good afternoon, everyone. Since the declaration of COVID-19, a number of measures have been put in place to lessen the spread and the extent of the illness. One of the biggest changes in the world is the addition of hand sanitizer in classrooms, handbags, malls, everywhere. The small size and affordability make it a really great accessory, but studies prove that hand sanitizer is less effective at killing certain kinds of germs than hand washing is. But it's just not possible to find a hand washing station everywhere you need one on the go, or is it?
Introducing the Waddle. The Waddle is a portable hand washing device allowing its users to effectively wash their hands with the same convenience as hand sanitizers. It is a container made of aluminum, which is 10 centimeters tall and 5 centimeters in diameter. Our product consists of a sheet soap dispenser, which is activated by an indented slider on the side, as shown here. And the Waddle also consists of a mist spray, where the button is used to spray mist onto an individual's hand. We designed this bottle as a mist spray to save approximately 70% of water compared to normal hand washing methods.
So inside the product, you can see that we have an aerosol system here. We have an aerosol system here to dispense mist. So the actuator or the button opens the valve down here, which forces the water inside the can up through the dipping tube and through an atomizer to convert it into mist. And another thing we have is a class 2 lever, which is a lot like pop-up toasters to dispense sheet soap. And when the plastic slider is pressed down, the surface holding the sheet soap is forced against compressed springs, which cause the soap to be forced upwards with a hole on the top. Furthermore, it's aimed to attract all demographics. It contains a grip on the side and is available in a variety of colors and patterns. The way it is designed allows users to operate it with only one hand.
The product is also reusable to attract environmentally conscious shoppers and combat the rising plastic wastage caused by excessive hand sanitizer production. Additionally, this will contain a keyring feature on the side, making it easier to carry around as a stylish accessory.
There are a multitude of different benefits to the everyday implementation of the waddle. These advantages include that it will be delivered in a safe, contact-free way, ensuring the parcel receiver's safety. It also allows people to easily sanitize their hands on the go, as soap and water is the most effective way of hand washing, unlike hand sanitizer. Another advantage includes that it is reusable, therefore minimizing enough waste as possible. To launch the business, the product will be distributed among select workplaces and schools free of charge, as well as COVID-19 testing units. This primary exposure will be followed by mass sale to a variety of large stores nationwide to make the product easily available. The waddle will also be available through contact-free online delivery services. Waddle, safety in a bottle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fantastic. When I think in Australia how difficult it was to get hand sanitizer and how a lot of people made a lot of money out of immediately starting to manufacture it, I've really got great hopes for the wattle, and I love your slogan too. That's just absolutely great work there, Holston. Terrific to see.
So Kathy, we're actually going to go to Caravat now, if that's okay. So we haven't got a slide for Caravat, but they're going to take us through what they've got so far. So we'd love to welcome Caravat to unmute and share their thinking with us.
I have seen Caravat online.
They're here. I think they just dropped out. I can see them. Kanuti Tangi.
Chris, I'm wondering, just while we're perhaps waiting for them to come online, we know that some other schools are along the path with their project. So we thought we might, just when the schools who were presenting finished, see if some of the other schools might like to, who are online, might like just to tell us a tiny bit about where you're up to with your project. Is there anybody who'd like to do that? You could just wave your hand.
And we've got Mountain Creek who's still ready to go.
And
so
Mountain Creek too. I'm sorry about that.
And actually, what we might do then, if Mountain Creek, if you're ready, just while we're waiting, because I can see Caravat are there, but I can't hear them yet. Citroness, I can see you. And I can see you have bottles in the background and all ready to go. So we might get Mountain Creek, if you can get ready. Always ready.
Okay, let's go to Mountain Creek, Chris, and
then we'll come back to Caravat.
Caravat, yeah. Far away, Mountain Creek.
Hello.
G'day everybody. Some really incredible sharing there. Just great to see the design thinking framework being used and some really creative projects. So we're a large community here at Mountain Creek, and so we wanted to start with the empathy phase and really get some data on our school community and how they sit with sanitation at this time of COVID. So I'm gonna pass you over to the girls in front of me, and they're gonna go through each of those stages and how we've sort of gone from empathizing with our community, defining our problem, and then looking at our minimum viable product and our prototype. So Ava, I'll get you to kick off.
Hi, so we first all met as a group and created a survey to send out to our school community to identify what our students and staff felt were most necessary to look at. The results were surrounding sanitation in like the bathrooms, classroom social distancing, tuck shop lines, those kind of things. And we had a really good response with the survey. There was around 600 students and 87 staff or something like that. So it was a really good turnout that helped us then converge to the ideation phase.
Yeah, so for the defining phase, what we did was we had a look at the data that we had collected, and we met together as a group, and we decided, well, we identified what we felt were the three main areas of concern that were expressed in the survey by the students and the staff. So we found that social distancing was one, as well as like water usage, so to do with water bottles and water bubblers. And then our last one had to do with sanitation, so with hand sanitizers. So once we discussed that and identified those areas of concern, we began to brainstorm, and we created this map where there was high effort and low effort, and then high impact and low impact. And so we were aiming for, I guess, the medium effort and then the highest impact that we could achieve. So we discussed as a group, and then we came up with a solution, being that we decided to create comic strips.
So we actually have a few drafts of the comic strips on. Can we show them on the?
Maybe not. If you
maybe not now, but we'll send them out soon. So we have the drafts at the moment and some sort of final ones as well. But basically, the idea is that it's going to be on an A4 poster, and it's going to have 3 sections. One looking at the social distancing in the tuck shop line, because it is huge at our school. Sanitation in our classrooms and washing hands as such in the toilets, as well as water usage with bringing your own water bottle and using the bubblers with COVID, obviously. And so we're going to be advertising them in the bathrooms on the back of the stalls, which we're very excited about. So yeah, that's basically it. And when we have our finals done, we'll send them through.
That's prime advertising space there. You've got it.
So Kathy and Mehdi, we're just managing. We're going to try and go back to Karavat, and then we're going to pop back to Hurlston for a couple more quick presentations. And I think we've got Pom Nats. Mariba, is that right? We're good to go with you shortly as well. Just checking. All right, so let's see if we can get Karavat up.
Yeah. Mariba said yes.
All right, Karavat. So I can see Karavat's muted at the moment, I think.
Hi.
Oh, okay. I think
Can you hear us? Are we okay?
Perfect.
Are we good?
All right. Okay. Let's introduce.
Good afternoon, everyone. Most of my fellow companions are out enjoying their day, having their class party, and only me and the 2 teachers are here. So we were told that we were to come up with a clean water system. So me and my friends, we came up with 2 processes to have dirty water turned into clean water. So we came up with filtration and to UV rays. As you can see here, it's a rough prototype of filtration of filter funnel. It consists of pebbles, sand, and charcoal. At the moment, this is the only thing we are working with. We'll look forward to trying out clay. And over down here is a piece of cloth to hold back the sediments and everything so that they don't fall down. And basically what we did was we poured in the dirty water here and it was down there. And the water we collected down here, which was this color, we took it and we put it into our exposure to UV ray prototype. So what we had to do was we had to pour the water in here. This water, we pour it down here, and then we had to close the lid and put it out in the sun. And water, when it was put out in the sun, evaporation took place. So inside here, this UV ray prototype consists of 2 containers, a large 1 liter container bottle and a small 330 milliliter bottle and a PVC pipe. So the pipe's purpose is to channel the flow of evaporation, as you can see. So water evaporates from here, it goes up and it condenses down here as clean water. So the water we collected, clean water here, as you can see, so if it's clear, you can see that it's crystal clear. But it's not yet tested, we're still working on it.
And the tested water?
And the collected water was put in here for testing. I think it was tested for 48 hours, and if this water here turns black, that means the water is contaminated. And if it's crystal clear, it means it's safe for drinking. So as you can see, it's safe. It's not yet tested.
You need to go 48 hours.
We need to go for 48 hours to check if it's really safe for drinking. This is the standard water test kit.
That's excellent work, Karavat. Mehdi, did you want to make a comment there?
Yeah, that's great. And also the school that great things that you kids are doing with your teachers.
It's terrific to see that work actually happening in front of our eyes. It's
yes,
really great work there and very useful for your whole community. Mehdi, I think we're going to move on now to Mariba at POMNATS. Are we right, Karavat? Is that we've done? That's fantastic. And Mariba, I think we're going to move on to you at POMNATS to share your work. And then after Mariba...
We're going to go to Hurlston after Mariba, if that's all right, Kathy. Then we'll go to Warwin.
Okay, yep.
I'll put a list in the chat.
Mariba, please.
Are we on now? Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay. Actually, we have nominated a student to speak on our behalf. So I will let her do the talking for all of us here. She's Beatrice, one of our PASI students. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beatrice, and for our WaSH-W project, we decided to work with the well-being of our students because we noticed that because of these lockdowns here in Port Moresby, our students fell way behind in academic performance. We invited a few other students from our school to come in and ideating and all that. So we used our how might we question. We came up with how might we, while adapting to COVID-19 measures, improve our mental well-being and focus in school. We had really good ideas. We decided to go for student counseling because we saw that students needed help mentally. And we actually did a model of what a classroom setting would look like with this counseling. And so we have our model here. Students sitting around and sharing what they feel, and it would also serve as a study group too for students, mostly focusing on academic performance and not personal issues, because we don't want other students to feel pressured with their friends' personal issues. So we have a sharing group, and then we have different stations for like different activities to do. And this is our system that we're trying to present to admin to the school. So we have a student counselor and the teachers and the student. We have our peer support group at the bottom where everything is implemented and everyone gets involved to help each other in our academic performance. So that's about it. Thank you.
Go on, Mehdi.
Lovely work, Pomnets. Something a little different from the hygiene, and it's to do with the mental. So it's good that you got kids about how people are being affected by the lockdown and COVID-19. So great work, Pomnets.
Okay, so we think Hurlston's got another world invention here, so we're going to hear about it and then go to Eric at WA1. So please, Team Hurlston, go ahead.
Looks like it's me. Okay, so
I'll speak louder.
the current problem our team decided to tackle was that too many people were living without basic standard sanitation. Due to limited access to safe drinking water, pollution caused by ineffective water management. Many water sources are contaminated by pollutants such as dirt, bacteria, and crude oil. Water poisoning related deaths are even more than HIVs, AIDS, and malaria combined. The current solution for this is that rural areas are using buckets and jerry cans, but even that has flaws. The plastic material they are made with are not suited for transportations of water, which causes extreme wear down, leaking, and sometimes in extreme cases, cracks. And even the water inside aren't until standard to sanitable, drinkable water. Modern filters now are hard to produce, not sustainable, and only one use, and they're inaccessible by rural areas.
So basically, our solution is called the Hydro Bag, and it's basically a bag with the ability to filter and store water. And it's basically supposed to be really useful for people who don't have access to safe drinking water. And it's distinguished from other bags because the bag, like this bag, has its own, like it can be used like any other bag, and it's both easy to make as well as sturdy and able to be used for long periods of time. So basically, our solution is fundamentally better than a normal bucket in many ways because it's cheap, environmentally friendly, multifunctional, portable, and sturdy. And our idea has a few main features which are different as well. One of the key features is the fact that it has two layers, an outer and an inner layer. And these layers basically filter most of the insoluble contaminants in water, such as dirt and oil. And combined with another layer, and it basically stores this water for later uses as well. And it's combined with another feature, which is basically a powder. It removes up to 99.99% of harmful pathogens, and yeah. Then we also have another feature in the bag, which is basically sleeve straps. So in the case of an emergency, they can be turned into clothes or other anything else which could be of use. And the thing is that this it also has a collapsible structure with wheels and a handle, which makes it easier to for transport. And it's pretty yeah. Okay, so basically,
Okay, sorry. So the Hydro Bag basically directly tackles the problem that we put forward. So in many cases, when people are having trouble transporting water over long distances, the Hydro Bag literally directly allows people to carry this water as a backpack over long distances. It's really safe because you can't possibly hurt yourself. And in the long term, it is a backpack. And backpacks are meant to be carried on your back. So it's also safer in an ergonomic-esque manner because it'll lead to fewer back problems and fewer neck problems, which, of course, if you carry water in non-safe manners using your arms or putting it on your shoulder or neck, these can cause issues that our Hydro Bag attempts to fix. Of course, also with the addition of using filters, it cleans water, allowing people who need access to water to use water sources that would otherwise be dirty or contain pollutants. It also optimizes energy because as a bag, it's hydrophobic on the outside, saving all the water that people utilize, and it won't cause any spills, allowing people to use all the water that they collect and not lose any through cracks or spills on the travel home. So we have several methods for implementation, all of which are very flexible. Our basic idea is that we plan to manufacture these on a small scale and trial them out in rural communities in Australia, PNG, any countries around the world really where people need access to water. And of course, if they fail, we can attempt to modify them in whichever direction they are. Possibly that they're too small, they don't encapsulate enough water. Maybe that the materials that we're using are too cost heavy, so we can go for something possibly a bit less successful, but way more cheap to manufacture, allowing us to transport these materials and manufacture these much more diversely. They're also easy to pack and light to transport, so our implementation should be easy in order to get them around the world to where they need to be. And also the usage is really, really simple in that as a bag, all you need to do is add water to it. You can also use it as a regular backpack for carrying items, so it actually doubles up on usage. And of course, the filter involves just pouring water through it. You can, of course, take the filter out, you can detach it, and you can use it as a regular filter. So all in all, the design and the usage is very simple, very easy, and requires almost no instructions whatsoever. Our Hydro Pack, to conclude, also has many bonuses. So you can create in many different designs. We created a few designs that we can't exactly show you because they're on a PowerPoint, but we plan to...
No, I can show it now.
Can you? Oh, sorry, one of our teammates will show you the design.
Okay, so this is the design we came up with.
The two.
Since there were many uses for the bag, we had to vary about design. So there's this design, which is like a regular backpack, which is for one person to carry around, and it's pretty easy.
Another design we came up with was like a suitcase similar. It can carry large quantities of water and you can drag it across the terrain as well. And this is the cross section we came up with for how it works. So dirty water goes through the top and the arrows show it passes through a filter into clean sanitable water. And as an addition, there's dissolvable particle packets that we can use to dissolve the water, which kills 99% of bacteria.
Okay, so in conclusion, basically, we believe our product is like amazing, and we intend to develop it further to probably better the world and contribute more to water, sanitation, and hygiene. Thank you. Okay.
We're very aware that we're running close to time. We would love to hear from Helston and Warwin. If anyone needs to leave, obviously we understand that, but we've only got 2 more presentations to go. Have we got another Helston one? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
And it's a short one and perfectly. I'm going to invest in the last one, by the way. I've already written a blank check. So let's get the last one up from Helston. Kathy and Eddie.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, our problem is when an outbreak happens, people are too ill prepared to deal with the situation, and this can often lead to bad hygiene practices, especially in critical times.
Our solution is a series of management plans that is open to the public and will be easy to understand. People will be able to instantly know what to do if an outbreak occurs, and will also include a better COVID-safe app.
The COVID-safe app features a visual map of all the COVID cases and hotspots, notifications of nearby COVID cases, step-by-step instructions on how to behave. It will include the management plan flowchart. It monitors casual contact and will be pre-installed onto every smartphone sold in Australia.
The management plan will include mandatory COVID-19 tests similar to random breath tests, supplied hygiene products, for example, masks and hand sanitizer, a step-by-step flowchart, and enforced hygiene rules.
The hygiene management includes implementing hand sanitizer stands, mask distribution, donations of sprays and disinfecting items, gloves, and random COVID tests, similar to RBT.
Our management plan will define certain incidents depending on how severe they are and act accordingly. We don't have that much time, so we'll just skip that for now. Yeah, we have to also inform urban areas. All individuals are required to possess the government management flowchart in urban areas so that they'll always know what to do.
When we inform rural areas, they may have difficulty with responding to information regarding the spread of the coronavirus. In response to this, people residing in rural areas can enroll in a program called Country Service, which can provide people living in rural areas with constantly updated information regarding what actions to take in response to what's happening. For example, if a level 4 situation is sent out, the information will be sent to the Country Service program, which will inform people living in rural areas of what to do.
Okay. Overall, the COVID Safe App 2.0 is revolutionary innovation, which uses the power of technology such as access to location services and Bluetooth to assist the Australian population by reducing the risk of transmission in a safe, strict, and effective manner, as outlined in the previous slides.
The management strategy involving the distribution of plans and goods to prevent the population from being ill-prepared will also prove very useful in keeping everyone informed, aware, and safe. With an easy-to-use user interface, it is suitable to all ages for conventional use, and though it may have authoritative connotations, it will help Australia become one of the first countries to fully recover from the pandemic, and thus should be supported by technology developers.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Helston. That's great. I love the fact that you're looking at the application of all of your projects into a much wider perspective than your school and local community. Great. Eric from Warwin, where are you? Would you like to come on, Warwin team, and share your work with us? Are you off mute? I can see you there. You need to turn the mute button off so we can hear you. But I think the Wallen screen is frozen a little bit too, Chris, so they may have lost connectivity there for a moment.
So,
Here we go. Are you right, Wallen? We are so looking forward to your presentation.
So you're still muted, I think, Warren. If you could just want to unmute. I can see you all. We're very excited.
It looks, Chris, like it's stopping and starting a little bit.
Well, what we might do is just let's see if we can get Warren back. But in the meantime, just to help us to wrap up, if Paul, should we invite Paul back up onto the call to share any thoughts? Just a couple of minutes sharing your thoughts about what you've seen, Paul.
Yeah, thanks. That was really, really exciting to see. There's so many detailed designs, and it really takes a good few weeks to finalize a good design, and it's really impressive what all of you have done in such a short amount of time, coming up with really innovative designs that are, easy to scale up and implement in other schools as well. I really love the pictures from Ayura. That was amazing to see. Great rural technology covering water and sanitation. Really be interested to learn more about the prototype for water purification. It's always really hard to get those technical supplies, but it's fantastic what you've done. I do love the mind map at Bundaberg as well. It really highlighted the importance of WaSH in COVID, but also impact that WaSH has on the economy. So for every dollar that's invested in WaSH, it brings back $4 to the economy. So that's a great connection there as well. And I loved Gary's idea around the bioshades, and also looking at the flooding of the river system, which is happening quite often around the Sogeri area. And I think the bioshade idea is such an excellent, it's using the problem of pollution, and you're really addressing so many solutions with it. It's an amazing idea to reduce the heat in the classrooms as well. Love the ideas as well from Hurlstone. It's really impressive already to do a design sprint in a day. Really love the waddle. It's an amazing. You had an amazing slogan as well. And if there's a little container for soap, it would be the perfect product. I'd definitely invest if I was on Shark Tank. I'd say propose that to Shark Tank, and also the other teams at Hurlstone. Transportation of water is really often forgotten in getting water around. So the hydro bag is an excellent idea to transport, especially the larger quantities of water as well. And it says that it will be easy to store and easy to transport, and especially helpful in, I'm thinking emergencies like big refugee camps as well. And the app as well was excellent idea. A lot of times hygiene is forgotten in WaSH, and having an app that's accessible to everyone and very transparent, it's a great idea. I do love the idea from Mountain Creek as well. It sounds exactly like a Water Aid project. So you go into a school, you take a survey with students, and you really use the data from the survey to drive decisions. And we also provide comic strips in toilets, for example. So it sounds exactly like a Water Aid project. I feel like you can do our job, really. Then the UV filters at Kervat is an excellent idea. It's the cheapest method actually to disinfect bacteria and water. There's a lot of plastic that might degrade in sunlight over time, but it looks like you're using the correct plastic as well, and it looks really professional actually. And POMNAP, I really loved that well-being was such a great focus in your project as well. It's such an important part of the COVID response in general. So support groups are really important, whether that's on well-being but also from a WaSH perspective. Yeah, overall, that was really impressive, and I'm really keen to learn more of where this is going. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Thanks, and so what a brilliant, a round of applause for you, Paul. What a brilliant summary of all of those. So absolutely fantastic, and thank you for giving up your time this afternoon. And I'm sure that if you want anyone to send in their CV to come and work with you, any of the students, I'm sure you would gladly receive them, because I think it is so amazing, and we're so proud of all of our, and we are super proud of the teachers, just going to say that, but we are even more proud, I'm not sure if I can say that, of the students and what they've been able to put together and prepare. And we know not everyone's had a chance to share, so I'm just going to quickly screen share. We're coming very much to the end now, but I'm just going to quickly screen share just to remind you that if you want to share some more of your ideas, if you want to record your pictures, if you want to video them, we would love you to upload them into the Google Classroom or to share them. So just a reminder that the short link, and we've got all of this in the TalkSavvy newsletter, which hopefully you've all received. We have got a link there to the WaSH-W website with all of our WaSH-W website with all of the resources, and also where if you want to upload photos or videos of your prototypes, absolutely do it. That would be wonderful. It's called an assignment, but don't worry, obviously that's just the language of Google Classroom. It's something we would love you to do. And also just a reminder that on the 15th of October, we'll be launching a whole bunch of Term 4 activities. And if anyone hasn't had an opportunity to present tonight, the WaSH project, then we'll make sure you get an opportunity to do that now. Now we're just going to go, if we can, we're going to try and see if we can get Warren back up on the screen just before we do sign off. So Warren, do you want to try? See if you can reconnect with us.
Yep.
I can. Yes. Okay, Team Warren, off you go.
So with the WaSH team here at Melbourne National High School, we have identified 4 problems in the waste management, hygiene, water conservation, and the well-being of students on campus.
So waste management, how might we better manage in our school? So we could, in our school, we have varieties of trash and plastic cans, decomposable materials. So we could manage it through using recyclable materials such as cartons or empty rice for collection of rubbish, which could be labeled into recyclable, decomposable, and reusable materials.
Problem hygiene, we have bed bug infestations in both male as well as the teachers' houses. So the homework question we developed is how might we create bed bugs in the dormitories as well as the teachers' houses. So we plan to produce a chemical solution from available organic materials, and so we'll collect samples of plants for testing. We'll produce an insecticide that could possibly remove that. With the help of bottles collected from the waste management team, we can store the pesticide solution, and we create awareness to students on campus. And then on one day we'll all apply the pesticide to the teachers' houses.
So for the well-being, we have came up an ideation on cultivating the school section for a well-being garden, and the prime purpose of this is to put the quality of food in the mess, and we'll plant different types of crops, including chilies, to help the hygiene team for the eradication of bed bugs, and also we get help from the management team for the food waste at the mess to help with the compost of the garden. And this project will basically student learning here at WaSH-W.
I'll just run through the summary of what we've just discussed. I'm taking water. I'm also happy that our school our partner school at Houston is also talked about water. I think we have something in common already. So I'm just do what we've already discussed, and I'm going to connect how all this can be implemented together as one. So basically, to conserve water so that it is available equally in every teacher's house and the students as well. So every molecule of water, because of the geological structure of our school, it is located on the plain. So water is actually a precious resource to us. So how exactly can we utilize and prevent water wastage in our school to reduce the cost? That was my big question. And we've come up with the idea that this management team, we are going to get the, and we use the water to, as we've stated here, we use the water to wash the willy beans because it is, as a matter of fact, it contributes to waste. For the hygiene team, we use the idea of killing some bed bugs. We use the water as solvent to mix the chemical components and all these things to kill the bed bugs. And to the well-being gardening, I mean, they were talking about gardening, so we'll have to use the water as irrigation purposes, so that all of this can be connected together. Thank you. Before we sum up, I just want to show you what we have planned. It's actually a prototype. So if you could just excuse. Oh, password. Sorry, it could take a second. So this is our prototype. We will send it, but I know it's not too late. We will, hopefully. And this is our prototype. Our summary of the project would go. So as you can see, they are all connected together. In the middle, I know you cannot see it really clearly, but we will post it and send it, and you will see it. So
that would be wonderful, Warren, if you can share that in Google Classroom or just email it to us. It looks fantastic, and we'd love to see that really clearly. So well done, Warren. A round of applause for you as well. All right, Em.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks, everyone. It's really wonderful to have been able to hear from so many of you today and all the great work that you've all been doing in your schools around this project. I'm sure the others would agree that a couple of weeks ago, before we started this, we weren't too sure on how that was going to go, how it would be received, but it's really incredible to hear about the work that you've done on this project. And for those that haven't started yet, obviously there's no pressure. We know there's a lot happening in schools all the time, but particularly at the moment. So we hope that this afternoon has given you some ideas, some inspiration, and you might get started later on in term 4. Or in fact, later next year, that's all fine. And we would love to hear how you go about tackling this project and this design sprint. So perhaps just to wrap up, a couple of things we wanted to mention. The first one is that PNG Independence Day is coming up on the 16th of September. And we would love for you to take this opportunity to perhaps share with each other either how you're celebrating it for PNG schools, or just wishing a happy Independence Day for Australian schools. And you would have seen this mentioned in Toxave sent earlier today. The other thing we wanted to mention is that we're still hoping to organise partnership meetings. We started a little bit 2 weeks ago, and we're hoping to have a few more in the next couple of weeks. And we will also take this opportunity to touch base with you all about your partnership projects. So these are the ones that were designed by the 2019 teams. Some we know are already completed, and it's fantastic. And hopefully Project WaSH is a new project that you can work on together. But for those that haven't quite completed their first project yet, we're here to support you and hope that you feel you can share with us any challenges you have, or share with us any great updates you have. So yeah, survey will be sent through in the next week or so, inviting you to reflect on this, and then those meetings will also help provide a bit of background around that. And finally, just a reminder to check our Toxave newsletter for all the key links and information. If you don't receive it, just let us know and we can make sure it gets in your inbox. And before we do wrap up, the main thing really is to get a bit of a photo of who's here on the Google Meet today. So I'll stop presenting now, get your smiles ready. And I'll ask my colleagues to help take some photos as well, because I'm not sure that we get all the same views. All right, so here we go. Smiles. All right, I'll do one more, and hopefully between all of us, we'll have plenty to share around. All right, fantastic. Well, look, it's really been a pleasure to have all of you here today. Thank you for taking the time to come and join this Google Meet. And I think Chris would have mentioned next catch-up hopefully will be on the 15th of October, where we can hear a little bit more about our Project WaSH, and then also launch all of our Term 4 activities. So thanks again for your time today, everyone, and for all your updates. Stay safe, keep well, and see you again next time.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul, indeed, yes.
Thanks all. Nice to meet you.